Hey, scrappy people, it's Tracy Reed here today, coming at you with a Project Life layout. It's been a little while since I've been working on my Project Life, and today I'm going to be working one card at a time for the beginning of this video because the way that I like to tackle my Project Life is I like to work one card at a time, sort of creating the foundation layer for the card. And then I come back and I embellish where embellishments need to happen, and I add journaling if more journaling needs to happen, or titles if more titles need to happen, that sort of a thing. So I'm going to work through card by card and slowly work my way through this spread. This is actually a 3-page spread, not just a single double page spread, because a lot happened in May, plus I had some extra space in my album where I needed to fill in an extra pocket page. So I decided to consolidate a lot of my stories into Project Life rather than creating an extra 12 by 12 page or whatever for some of the stories. So this is my title card, and I cut down, I'm using entirely Cocoa Daisy scraps from my stash. This is, I think the majority of this layout is going to come from the Tranquility collection. Some of it is some other papers and things and cards from just my stash, but the majority of like the color scheme is going to come from the Tranquility collection. So I'm building my title card here. I had a 3x4 that said May's story, so I'm adding it to a 4x6 card by extending the size with a tag, as you could see, and then embellishing slightly before I move on. Next, this is going to be a simple photo plus background card with one little word strip at the bottom. Some of my pockets are more involved, some of them are less so. Actually, I like it that way because it creates a nice balance for the page. If everything was super embellished, it would get sort of overwhelming pretty easily. So sometimes things are nicely embellished, some things are a little bit more simple depending on the story. You can see that this is a little bit more involved with 2 photos and a journaling card, and then a couple of chipboard bits. Next, we are going to work on there's a lot of Joe stories in my May album. He got officially diagnosed with ADHD and we started medication for that. That was the last card. This one is actually going to be a funny card because he told me on Sunday, before the project was due, of course, that he needed to go take a picture of a dam. The closest dam was 30 minutes away, so that's going to be a humorous card about that. This is my mama with the flowers that I got her for Mother's Day. You can see that on some cards I pre-write my journaling when I know that there is going to be an involved story, and then sometimes I add my journaling to the page afterwards. So after I finish working through every pocket here, what I do is I turn the camera off, fill in all of the journaling spots that I added to the page that don't have journaling, and then I turn my camera back on and start embellishing. I'm trying to use up some of the stickers and things that I had left over from the May Tranquility collection, so I'm using a lot of like the washi strips and things like that. Photo of Joe and I watching Shadow and Bone together. He was not feeling well, I believe after his COVID shot, and so we snuggled together. We pretty much binge watched the entire series in one sitting. I do like to include text messages if they're particularly funny or poignant in my Project Life. So that was one between Patrick and I about Finn. And this is the explanatory card for that text message, and you will see them together in the Project Life page protector once I've got everything together. Patrick got a new computer for his birthday / Father's Day, so these are 2 photos of some of that. It was pretty funny though because I posted that picture of he and Joe on Facebook because Joe had to explain to him how to use his computer. We are Mac people, but PCs are better for gaming, so we had to buy a new PC, which of course Patrick was struggling with using, so his teenager had to explain to him how to use the PC, which I thought was hilarious. How the tables have turned sort of a thing, so I was scrapbooking that story more than his new computer. Another photo of me snuggling with my boy. A different boy this time. He asked to watch Ratatouille together, and I don't especially like Ratatouille, but when your 10-year-old wants to snuggle and watch a movie with you, you do so. And of course, the elusive oldest child managed to get a picture of them, so we are scrapbooking the elusive child. Just gonna add a little journaling strip here. I thought about adding two, but those two journaling labels were different, so we're not going to add two. There we go. One more side of this page to put together, and then I will work on adding journaling off camera, and then we will come back again. This is my friend's dog. My oldest was babysitting or dog sitting him, and the card is actually about how I cannot believe I have children old enough to house sit. Oh my gosh, what the heck? Here is Joe in the end of his freshman year activities. He went to Dollywood with his friends, and then that's them down in World's Fair Park, which actually their school is down in World's Fair Park, so they were actually technically at school or after school. Just going to add in a few word bits here, and then a place to add a little bit of journaling. There we go. Next we have, okay, this is a multi-pocket story of me teaching Joe to drive somebody. Oh my gosh. So I accidentally broke this Serenity wood veneer, and I should not have glued this down to begin with, but I wasn't thinking clearly. I'm gonna add to that Serenity title here in a second, but it's going to say Serenity Now, which is a Seinfeld shout out, of course. Teaching your teenager to drive is no joke, y'all. This is freaking terrifying. So I need to move this in a little bit more because that bow was stopping it from going into the pocket. Again, I'm going to come back and embellish some of these again. So here is Joe pumping gas. Your journey starts here. Learn how to pump gas. And then next to it is this up for review card with my journaling about teaching him to drive. And it's going to flip up and it's going to say, that's a hard pass for me. Thanks. I'm using the washi from the collection just to create a little flip up, and the review part will sit outside the page protector so you can easily lift it up. This is we were having a s'mores bonfire at the end of the school year to celebrate summer, and my oldest decided to put their history book. It was a long, tough year with COVID, and also it was junior year, which is I think is the hardest of the school years, and so we burnt the history book, and it was very cathartic. I also spent way too much time at the dentist that month between myself and my kids. I think I spent 6 hours over the course of 2 days at the dentist. It was the worst. This photo pretty much sums up my feelings on the process, and also the very talkative dental assistant. I'm going to put it next to this loading please wait, because I just felt like I was waiting and waiting and waiting. I wanted to add this I just can't even on here, but it was too many words, so I end up putting it somewhere else here in a minute. Adding some more of those sticker washies. Okay, so now we've got everything set. I'm going to add in my journaling where it needs to be. Now I'm going to start embellishing. And first I'm going to add titles, and this one is going to say Damn It, D-A-M it, because it was me being snarky about having to go find a dam on a Sunday right before the project was due. And then I added now to this one, and the other one said when. Sorry, that went a little bit fast. This video is a little long. There, I added that just can't even to the damn it card. Then I'm going to add in some of these bazillion clouds I have left over from the chipboard set in, I think, Treetop Canopy. Oh my gosh, I have so many of these leaves of these clouds. It's not even funny. So I'm just adding in little embellishments here and there, arrows, clouds, hearts, enamel dots, those sort of things, just to add a little bit of pop to a few of these cards that are a little too plain for me. I'm gonna frame Jill with some hearts. Plus there was some, I needed to add in a little bit more of that pink color because it wasn't quite, there wasn't quite enough in the embellishments. So I wanted to add in a little bit more in the embellishments so that it was a little bit more balanced as far as the pink goes. Decided to create a little border with these enamel dots here and there. I didn't want to add any journaling to that photo, so I just added in some embellishment. I'm going to move this over a little bit because I initially had it a little off center and I decided to just center it. Gonna add in some more clouds here, basically just to get rid of them. That's what we're sort of working at this point. I want to get rid of some of these clouds, and they go well up in the sky. And I think that is about it. I'm gonna add in just a couple things. Oh, yep, little arrow. And I'm gonna call it good. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Tracy M. Reed. I'd love to see you over there as well, and I will see you next time. Thank you.